So today I'd like to talk about what we're building at DeSci Labs, which is going to be one of those DeSci apps that's building on all the cool infrastructure that everybody else is building here. And particularly I want to talk about how our new program called Node Stewards is going to help transform big scientific data into interoperable research objects that are stored open state on this cool infrastructure that we just heard about. So you've seen this ecosystem is really cool, it's popping. Lots of cool projects, many more, I forgot a bunch, but yeah, Jocelyn is always curating this cool landscape, so just check it out. I have their Twitter right there. And yeah, so we just heard about this, so sharing scientific data is super important. Why? Because, well, if we share data, we can collaborate much more easily. We can build bigger data sets, and bigger data sets means more statistical power, more reliable results, right? So that's pretty cool. And it also means more access to the data so there's not the same access to cool instruments that help you with data collection across labs. So if you're in an underfunded research institution, you just may not have the ability to collect the same type of data that a well-funded institution may have. So if we all share data, we all have better access to make cool scientific discoveries. So that's pretty cool, right? But also sharing scientific data right now is pretty expensive. It's pretty vulnerable because it's stored on centralized databases where we just have to trust that they keep the database running. It's also not rewarded. So currently what counts in science is having your PDF cited, but it doesn't matter if you make your data accessible, like you just cannot accrue credit to it. Or there's some ways you can, but it's just not really easy. And it's also pretty painful. So there's a couple of repos out there where you can store your data. These are like funded by some governmental institutions. Their UX is not great. And then also, if you want to find the data, you need to know which repo it's stored at. So you need to find the repo. Then you need to find the data. It's a hassle, so it's not great. So what I'm hoping to convince you of is that sharing scientific data is great if you're using DeSci Nodes. Right, so what is DeSci Nodes? That's what we're building at DeSci Labs. And basically, it's a way for you to collect all your artifacts that are relevant to a specific piece of research that are currently scattered across the internet in different siloed data repos, but also maybe not even be published. And you can collect all that in one DeSci node. You can connect all the different artifacts that are relevant to this research. So you can connect your code to your data. You can link that all to the relevant sections in your PDF, in your manuscript, and that way you can create a reproducible research object. And the cool thing is then if you publish it, it'll become part of this open state repository that is based on decentralized storage solutions, where you can even have different nodes interact, and one node, for example, citing the data set of another node, citing the code analysis of another node, and then coming up with new results based on that. So it's a very interactive scientific ecosystem, which that's kind of how it should be, I feel. So yeah, I'd love to show you guys a demo. So let's hope this works. Right, so the idea is that that's how you find knowledge right now, right? So you go to some journal's website, you look for the PDF, and then you click on it, you find the PDF. So this is how research currently gets shared. You have this PDF, it's static. You're lacking a bit of context. So somebody could download this and send it to you to read it, but you can't really tell, has this been updated? Is this up to date? Has it maybe even been retracted? And with this PDF, it's kind of cool because you have this little button right here, which will always take you back to DeSci Nodes, where you have all the context that's relevant to this piece of research. So you get the idea, right? So you have interconnect. That is running on cool projects like Bacalhau. Yeah, I'll show you a demo if you come to me later. This kind of sucks. Anyways, so now I want to talk about Node Stewards. Node Stewards is our community program with which we're hoping to get actual scientists into the world of DeSci, show them what we can build if we use decentralized solutions for science, and then hopefully convince them of the whole value proposition. So Node Stewards are our program to help scientists onboard into DeSci, use this new technology, and they're going to do that by creating the first 100 DeSci nodes. And so I'm going to walk you through how we're trying to implement this project. So this is step one, that's where we're at right now. So currently we're in the phase where we're trying to identify the most valuable research. What does that mean? That means we're trying to find research that will have the most immediate benefit from adopting these solutions. And so that's likely going to be empirical work with large data sets, with non-restricted data, so we don't run into GDPR issues, and hopefully a high-impact research just because it's better visibility. So once we have identified the most important fields of research and the coolest researchers who are willing to maybe try this tech, we're going to collaborate with them, we're going to get their consent, because yes, we're looking for research that's open access and permissively licensed, but we still want to get their consent because we want to work with them and not step on anybody's toes. And then we're going to collaborate closely with them to teach and learn. So we're going to teach them about our tech, and we're going to learn from them about their research areas, their problems, their issues, and how we can help them. And then together with them, we're going to start collecting artifacts. So collect the code, collect the databases, collect anything else that's related to their research that we want to put up on DeSci Nodes. And this is important because currently, as I said, much of the artifacts that are relevant to research are not necessarily publicly available, and that's what we're trying to fix. So we're going to work with scientists to identify those artifacts. And then once we're there, next step is to actually go and create these 100 stellar DeSci nodes. So we're going to connect all the artifacts. That's going to enable one-click reproducibility, which you would know exactly what I mean if I was able to show you the demo. And we're going to also create artwork that we're going to tie to this research just to make it a bit, make it a bit more cool. And then we're placing high value in making all the research that we publish on DeSci Nodes fair. And fair means findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And that's going to lead to good machine readability, which just helps you find the research that you're looking for, find the data set that you're looking for, and just use all the artifacts that are already out there to then better create your own research. Then we're going to publish all that through the IPFS network, and then we're going to let the authors of the work claim their work as authors. And yeah, so step 0, this is a concept that we're going to be implementing all the time, is just building community. So we have a couple of really engaged community members who we're super grateful for, who are willing to help us with this project and create the first nodes. And yeah, so we're onboarding stewards on a rolling basis, so if you're interested, hit me up. And then we're facilitating connections between these stewards because there's so much opportunities for us to teach and learn from each other. So we have a really cool community of people who are Web3 natives, scientists. We have actually data stewards themselves whose actual job it is to work with researchers to understand and help them implement the data requirements that they have for sharing their data. We have artists, so we have a bunch of cool people, and we can just learn together and have a good time together while we nerd out on research, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, what did we learn in the process? Actually, there's a bunch of people who want to fix science, and I think that applies to many of you here in the room, and we can leverage that momentum that's there by just giving these people the tools and the means to then actually go ahead and help starting to fix science. Another point that we learned is that if you have a diverse community from different fields, that just helps you understand your users a lot better. So we have been talking to our community, and just most of them are scientists, so we learn a lot about what are the specific problems that they're having with sharing their data. So that's super, super helpful. And yeah, just in general, communities are super powerful, and we need to nourish them, so let's do our best to do just that. So yeah, and then back to the ecosystem. So if we onboard scientists with this Node Stewards program, that just helps the entire ecosystem because, as I said, there's so many cool projects out there. So if we get more scientists in the space, then they're going to use all the other cool projects, and we can all help each other and work together doing that. So yeah, if you're interested in becoming a Node Steward, join us. You can go to DeSciFoundation.org/stewards. You can also reach out to me or follow DeSci Labs on Twitter. Thank you.